So you've heard people talk about the stock market. Maybe your coworker mentions they bought some Tesla stocks, or your parents told you to open a Roth IRA, or you saw some guy on TikTok claiming that he turned $500 into $50,000 by trading options. And now you're sitting here thinking, okay, I probably should be doing something with my money, but where do I even start? Here's the truth. Investing doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler you keep it, the better off you're probably going to be. And that is exactly what this video is about. We're going to break down everything you need to know about investing in stocks, index funds, and ETFs. We're going to cover 4 things: what stocks actually are, why most people should not be picking individual stocks, what index funds and ETFs are and why they matter, and then how you can actually get started today. Let's get into it. All right, so let's start from the very beginning. What even is a stock? When a company wants to raise money, let's say Apple wants to build a new data center. Instead of just taking a massive loan from a bank, they can sell small pieces of ownership of the company to regular people like you and I. Those small pieces of ownership are called stocks or shares or equity. They all mean basically the same thing. So when you buy a share of Apple, you literally own a small slice of the Apple company. Now, that slice might be like 0.0000001% of the company, but it still counts because you are still a shareholder. And why does that matter? Because if Apple does well, if they sell more iPhones, launch a new product people love, or if their profits go up, then the value of that stock goes up as well. And if you sell your shares later with more money than you paid for it, then you make more money. Simple as that. Now, there's also a second way that stocks can make you money, and that is through something called dividends. Some companies, not all of them, are going to take a portion of their profits and pay it directly to their shareholders. So every few months, you might get a small cash payment just for owning the stock. Think of it like a landlord collecting rent, except instead of a property, you own a piece of a company. So to recap, right? Stocks make you money either because their price goes up over time or because the company pays you dividends along the way. Or ideally both if you play your cards right. Okay, so now you know what a stock is, and your brain is probably already going, all right, cool. So I should probably just buy Apple and Amazon and maybe throw money at the next big thing before it blows up, right? And look, I get it. That sounds exciting. But here's the problem. Trying to pick winning individual stocks is really hard. And I'm not just talking about hard for beginners. I'm talking about hard for professionals who have been doing this for decades, with teams of analysts, access to mountains of data, and millions of dollars of resources behind them. Studies have shown over and over again that the vast majority of actively managed funds, meaning funds run by professional investors who are paid to pick stocks, fail to beat the overall stock market over time. Not just some of them, most of them. We're talking somewhere around 80 to 90% of professional fund managers underperform the market over a 10 to 15 year period. And so if the professionals cannot reliably beat the market, what chance does the average person scrolling through Reddit at midnight have? And this is actually the insights that Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor of all time, has been saying for years. He's on record multiple times recommending that most regular people should not try to pick stocks. Instead, he says, just buy the whole market. Which brings us to the best thing you can do with your money. All right, so if picking individual stocks is a bad idea for most people, then what should you actually do? This is where index funds and ETFs come in. And honestly, once you understand this, investing suddenly becomes a whole lot less scary. Let's start with what an index is. An index is basically just a list of stocks that represents a chunk of the market. The most famous one in the US is the S&P 500. That stands for Standard & Poor's 500, and it's a list of the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States. We're talking Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Johnson & Johnson, Visa, basically the biggest well-known companies in the country, all in one list. Now, an index fund is a fund that tracks one of these indexes. So, if you buy into an S&P 500 index fund, your money is automatically spread across all 500 of those companies. Not just Apple, not just Amazon, right? All 500 of them. And an ETF, which stands for Exchange Traded Fund, is basically the same idea as well, but it trades on the stock market just like a regular stock does. So instead of buying Apple or Tesla, you buy one share of an ETF that contains hundreds or thousands of companies inside of it. The two most popular ones you hear about are VOO, which is Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF, and SPY, which tracks the same index. There's also VTI, which is Vanguard's Total Stock Market ETF, which goes even broader and includes basically every publicly traded US company, not just the top 500. So, why is this so much better than picking individual stocks? For a few reasons. First is diversification. When you put all your money in one stock, if that company tanks, you lose everything. But when your money is spread across 500 companies, even if one of them goes completely bankrupt, you still have 499. So it's not going to really affect your portfolio. You're not betting on the horse, right? You're betting on the entire race. Second is cost. Index funds and ETFs are passively managed, so nobody is sitting there every day trying to pick the best stocks for you. They just follow the index automatically, and because of that, the fees are incredibly low. We're talking expense ratios of like 0.03% for something like VOO. That's basically nothing. Third, and this is the big one, is history. The S&P 500 has historically returned around 7 to 10% per year on average when adjusted for inflation. Is every year 7 to 10%? Absolutely not. Some years is up 20%. Some years like 2008 or 2022 is down a lot. But over the long run, the trend has always been up. And that is because every single day, millions of people are going to work at these 500 companies. They're creating value, building products, solving problems. As long as that keeps happening, as long as Apple keeps making iPhones and Amazon keeps shipping packages in 2 days, the market will always go up over time. Okay, so now, how do you actually buy ETFs or index funds? Do you just Google S&P500.com and hit buy? Not quite, right? You need to buy them through what is called a brokerage account. Think of it like a bank account, but specifically for investing. And the good news is there are a ton of great options in the US, most of which are completely free to sign up for and have zero trading commissions. Some of the most popular ones are Fidelity, Vanguard, and Charles Schwab. And if you want an app experience, then go with Robinhood or Public. Any of these will work. Just Google them, compare, and then pick one that is right for you. I personally use Fidelity. Now, there is something really important, especially if you're in the US. Before you open a regular brokerage account, you need to look into opening a Roth IRA first. A Roth IRA is a special type of investment account where you invest money that you've already paid taxes on, and then all the growth inside of that account, all the dividends, all the capital gains is completely tax-free when you retire. Completely tax-free. That is a massive deal if you ask me. For 2026, you can contribute up to $7,500 per year into a Roth IRA if you're under 50. And if you're younger and starting early, the compound interest on that tax-free growth over 30 to 40 years is genuinely life-changing. So the general order of operations that I recommend is this. First, if your employer offers a 401k match, take it and contribute at least enough to get the full match. And then open a Roth IRA and max that out if you can. And then anything beyond that, open a regular brokerage account and invest the money there. And what do you buy in all of these accounts? You already know the answer. A low-cost S&P 500 index fund or ETF. Some examples are VOO, VTI, and SPY. Pick one, stick with it, and keep adding money consistently over time. Look, investing can seem overwhelming when you're starting out. There are millions of opinions out there, 1,000 different strategies, and no shortage of people trying to convince you that they have some secret formula for you to get rich quick. But the truth is this: The single best thing you can do is open a Roth IRA. Put money into a low-cost index fund every single month and not touch it for decades. That's it. No picking individual stocks. No day trading. No checking the market every single morning. Just consistent, boring investments over time. And I know that doesn't sound exciting, right? But the results are going to speak for themselves. $1,000 invested in the S&P 500 30 years ago would be worth around $20,000 today. That, my friend, is the power of compound growth. And the earlier you start, the more powerful it gets. So if you've been putting this off, then this is your sign. Open that account this week and start with whatever you can afford, even if it's just $50. The most important step is the first one, so take it. If you found this video helpful, then drop a comment below letting me know what your biggest question about investing still is, and I'll do my best to answer it and make more videos on this topic. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Fawani, and I'll see you in the next one. You got this.